My name is Danita Simons, and I am the Foundation Director here at Western Dakota Tech. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the Build Dakota Scholarship Program, why it's so important to businesses and to our community. I'm going to introduce to you Deni Amundson. She is the program manager for the Build Dakota Scholarship Program. She works with all 4 of the technical schools here in South Dakota. She is our go-to gal that helps us with every question we might have. And then working with me in the foundation, we have Jennie Best. She is the Assistant Director of Scholarships. And she too will share with you how Western Dakota Tech can partner with you with the Build Dakota Scholarship Program. We'll be taking questions at the end, and I'll be monitoring all those questions. So I appreciate all of you being with us today, and I hope you find this presentation valuable. Thank you. Deni.
All right, well, I will take over from here. And like she said, you can go ahead and submit your questions to the chat if you want, and we'll just save them for the end if in case we didn't address something that was part of your questions, or if you have more, you're certainly welcome. You know, we'd love to get a conversation going at the end. That's part of the fun of these presentations. We kind of lose some of that interaction in Zoom, but it certainly has been one of the great parts of these in our past. So I have a quick video and then a short presentation, and then we'll just open it up at the end for some discussion.
To solve South Dakota's workforce shortage, our state's business leaders knew they'd have to think outside the box. That's why they created Build Dakota, a scholarship program that does so much more than fund education. Build Dakota keeps skilled workers in state and connects businesses with trained employees. How? By industry partners and technical colleges working together. Build Dakota partners with businesses in South Dakota that specialize in high-needs fields like healthcare, automotive technology, construction, energy tech, manufacturing, welding, and information technology. Each Build Dakota industry partner sponsors a scholar, paying a portion of their tuition and program expenses. In return, businesses receive a direct pipeline of talent from South Dakota technical colleges and a cost-effective method of training future employees.
We definitely feel the effect of the low unemployment rate. You know, I think it's a great thing for our area, the economy, to have this low unemployment rate, but I think that kind of creates a competition among companies, and you're really trying to find different ways of marketing and recruiting, and you know, you have to really be creative and look for new ways of hiring people. I do a lot of recruiting anyways through the schools, and what I was finding out is all the really great students were kind of taken because they already had a job. They were working part-time, or some of them even full-time, and then they were going to stay with that company, you know, after graduation. We were really excited because we knew that, you know, we want to retain people. We want people to stay in South Dakota. And so we were just excited knowing, okay, maybe some of these welders and electricians and painters, these guys we're hiring, they're going to stay, you know, in the state. For a student, you get an education, you have a guaranteed job, you come out debt-free. And for a company, you know, we're investing in that student. They have a great education. We know the programs. We know what to expect from that student. We've set up training programs specifically for those students, and then we know we have, you know, a 1, 2, 3 year commitment from that student after they've finished school. We've connected with a student from each tech school across the state, and we've hired 12 students so far since Build Dakota started, and 80% of those students are still here. So I just think on the front end, you know, we're very honest with what we do, what the process is going to be, what they're going to do here. They get a tour, and then they make the decision on whether they want that or not. And if they do, they know that they've committed for the next year or 2 to school, and then the next 3 years after that. So it's a really open, honest process on both sides, and I think that really helps with retaining that individual because they know exactly what they're getting into, and we know what to expect from them. It's a huge opportunity for a student to go to school, come out debt-free, and have a great job for the next 3 years and live in South Dakota and start their life.
Today, over 180 businesses are helping build South Dakota. Visit BuildDakotaScholarships.com and learn how to become a partner.
All right, so just a very brief history on Build Dakota. We started in 2015 with a $50 million donation from Deni Sanford and then Governor Dugard. Over the first 6 years of the program, we spent down $25 million of Deni Sanford's money. It's amazing to look back at how many years and students' lives have changed because of a program like this. And we're super excited to announce that we have received additional funding, $20.5 million, to keep us going full steam ahead for the next 5 years. So that's a recent announcement that we have to make. So we're super excited to be able to talk about that. And the purpose of Build Dakota, for years, everybody's been talking about this workforce shortage and nobody really knows what to do about it. And so the people who started Build Dakota said, okay, we're gonna start this fund and try to become a catalyst for lots of people to come together for the same mission. What we know is that a lot of organizations and groups, state organizations, private, associations, everybody has really great workforce development programs and everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And sometimes when you are doing that, the efforts become diluted. And so for all of us to be able to come together on the same mission just means we'll be able to make a bigger impact on the workforce shortage. And we're also here and we're talking to students, potential students, as much as we possibly can. We know that there's a lot of people over here working lower paying jobs who are always applying for better paying jobs. They're trying to get a better life for themselves. And we know there's employers over here who are screaming for people to come work for them. The problem is that all of these people applying don't necessarily have the skills that these employers that you guys need. And so we are here to address that skills gap and train the workforce for the jobs that are available in South Dakota and to hopefully make an impact on your own local needs as well. Like I said, we are out there talking to potential students. We want them to know what kind of opportunities are here for them in South Dakota. There's a myth out there that they have to leave South Dakota to have a great career and make good money, and that is not true. There is lots of opportunity in their own backyard. They just aren't always aware of what those opportunities are or what the jobs that are available to them. And so, it takes all of us talking about them and educating this potential workforce to let them know the opportunities that are available in their local area. We're connecting businesses and skilled workers, and I'll talk a little more in depth about what that looks like later on in the presentation. The video kind of touched on it. But we're also here promoting technical colleges. They're very, they're one of the best kept secrets in South Dakota. They are training the workforce for the jobs that are really available here. And students can get in, get out, less money, less time commitment, get into a really good paying job that will give them a great career for their future. Smaller class sizes, hands-on learning, individual attention, there's so many great things happening at the technical colleges here in South Dakota, and we're quite fortunate to have all of them. Build Dakota pays for full ride scholarships for students going to one of our 4 technical colleges. So we have Mitchell Tech is in Mitchell, obviously. Western Dakota Tech is in Rapid City. Lake Area Tech is in Watertown, and Southeast Tech is in Sioux Falls. I kind of represent all 4 of the technical colleges, but we do have Western Dakota Tech here specifically, and they'll be able to answer some specific questions for them as well. Build Dakota does not pay for any living expenses for students, but we do encourage them to still apply for the FAFSA. If they get any outside scholarships or federal aid, they get to keep that money and use it towards their living expenses. We pay for tuition fees, books, tools, laptops, anything a student needs to complete a program at one of the technical colleges. And as you guys might know, some of the automotive programs, those tools are $7,000, $8,000 alone. So it is quite an expense to get one student through school. We pay for 1-year diploma programs and 2-year associate degrees. Those 1-year diploma programs are between $15,000 and $20,000 per student, and the 2-year associate degrees are $20,000 upwards of maybe $27,000, $28,000 depending on the program, and if there's some tools associated with those programs. Build Dakota, it's a full ride, but we make sure we let everybody know it's not a free ride. Our students commit to the program, during school, they agree to keep their grades up, and the schools do stay on top of that. And, we'll put them on probation. They do hold them accountable. So after graduation, student agrees to work in the field that we paid for 3 years after they complete that program. If they don't fulfill the terms of their contract, they have to repay everything Build Dakota paid on their behalf, or a prorated portion of that. So if a student, completes 1 year of that 3-year obligation, and then they decide to move out of state, we would give them credit for the 1 year that they worked in the field. That debt conversion is last resort. We don't want that to happen, and we do our best to work with students and really, try to select the best recipients we can who give us good indicators that they're passionate about their program and that they want to stay in South Dakota. And any money that's collected is also recycled into more scholarships. So we have a way of rewarding it to the technical colleges so that they can award more students down the road. We work with the Department of Labor to determine what our high need fields will be. And I did share a handout with Rachel that she will forward on to everybody. This information is also out on our website, and it has all of the programs at each of the technical schools that are approved for Build Dakota. There is something out there for everybody. We have a very diverse group of programs, and what we try to really make sure is that there are jobs available for these graduates once they enter the workforce, and that they meet a certain income threshold, because we want to make sure our scholars can make a livable wage once they finish the program. Who should apply for Build Dakota? We want anybody interested in one of those programs to apply, and spread the message. If you know of students, potential students, we want them to apply. I always talk to the students and tell them, traditionally you would hear the term full ride scholarship for students going to a 4-year university who had 4.0 GPA and really good athletes. And this program is one for all the rest of us who may not fall into those two categories. And so if you know anybody interested in one of these high need fields, send them our way, because we certainly do want them to apply. So when we talk about Build Dakota and the purpose of it being a catalyst for all of us to work together, there's lots of different ways to do that. Like I said, I'll talk more about this industry partner thing, but, we also have to come together to promote these high need fields. If we need more plumbers, we are one program, and we are trying to get out there and talk to people and promote all of these professions in South Dakota. But, if we need more plumbers, somehow we all need to work together to get into the schools and to, change the perception of what plumbers actually do. They're not just waiting around all day in gross stuff. They are building new construction, and they make really good money, and they can potentially be, business owners themselves and leaders in their community. And so promoting those fields and, nursing, and we have lots of different fields out there. And I was a teacher. I was a family and consumer science teacher before I started this position, and I helped students explore careers. And quite honestly, I did not understand what some of those careers did until I got into this position, and I started visiting the technical colleges. And so, it just takes all of us to work together to talk about how can we come together and use Build Dakota to promote these high need fields together. We need you, to collaborate with the technical colleges. They are your workforce professionals. They are the experts, and they need the relationship and the communication from you to know what they can do better to meet your individual needs. And they're wonderful at that. They want to hear from you. They want you participating, in some of their advisory committees or, different things like that. We have to know what's happening in your local areas to be able to help better prepare the students and the graduates that you need to hire. You can use Build Dakota to build your own pipeline of talent directly from the technical institutes, and that is through industry partnerships. So there's 2 ways that students receive a Build Dakota scholarship. Every single student has to go through the application process. and that can be found out on our website. Each school has a link out there. And so when a student wants to apply for Build Dakota, what we tell them before they ever apply for Build Dakota, they need to apply at their technical college and kind of know what program they want to go into. Then they click on the link for their technical college. And so if a student wants to go to Western Dakota Tech, they click on their link. Well, that link takes them out to Western Dakota Tech Scholarship Management System. Western Dakota Tech awards all of their own students. So they're in charge of that application and awarding process. And when a student applies for Build Dakota, it also will tell the student all the other scholarships that they're eligible for within their foundation. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for the students, which makes it very convenient. The second way for a student to get a Build Dakota scholarship is through an industry partnership. And this concept is taking off like crazy. When we first started Build Dakota, our leadership kind of said, okay, we've got this $25 million to spend over this first 5 years. How are we going to get the most bang for this buck and not just throw $25 million at a problem and have nothing to show for it? And each school was challenged with starting their own industry partner program, and they all rose to the occasion. They started their industry partner programs, and each school has local control over those programs. And so they each have a different name because they have local control over them. The general concept behind an industry partnership is that a business pays for a portion of that full ride scholarship, and then Build Dakota picks up the rest. The student ends up with a separate contract with the business. Usually it mirrors that 3-year employment obligation. The benefit for the business is obviously you are using Build Dakota funds to train your own workforce. When we have a lot of businesses who are embracing this concept and really understanding how to do that really well. Muth Electric, I just like to use an example because they partner with 3 separate schools and sponsor a couple students at each school. And so they have this steady pipeline of electricians coming into their business. They can grow based on knowing that they have those electricians coming in. For the student, they basically guarantee themselves a Build Dakota scholarship if they have an industry partner. We take care of all of our industry partners' needs first and make those matches before we give our general scholarships without an industry partnership. And as we've progressed, now we're taking applications for our 7th year. About 3/4 of our students have industry partners at this point, and we anticipate that to continue to grow. Last year, we had approximately $2 million of additional funds that came in through industry dollars. Also for students, it just gives them a different level of accountability and extra support as they're going to school. They know they have somebody there supporting them. A lot of businesses will employ these students part-time or, over holidays or summers, things like that. So for Build Dakota, the more industry partners we can get, obviously, the more money we have and the more students we can get out into the workforce. We get asked a lot how are matches made. The schools put a whole lot of time into this program, and their staff is excellent. They basically play matchmakers. There's a couple different ways to do this. The technical colleges bring your candidates. So you might come to them, and we hear this all the time, I need people. We need fill in the blank. We need nurses. We need robotics. We need electricians. We just don't have enough bodies. I have no idea. Bring me some people. And so the schools and each school, since they have local control, it might look different depending on the school you partner with. They have different forms and procedures, but they might call, depending on how you would like to do it, they'll show you the applications. They'll get permission from the students to show you the applications and say, okay, here's our best 3 or 4. Would you like to interview them? So, and then the employer interviews them and kind of make a match that way. You can evaluate your current workforce, or if you know somebody, or maybe you're part of a job shadowing or apprenticeship program, you can bring that candidate to the technical college and pretty much vouch for them, say I want to sponsor them, and get them into the program that way. One thing we really, try to talk to people about is really evaluating your workforce, because if you have, let's say you're in manufacturing and you need somebody in robotics. So you open a job advertisement in robotics. Nobody has the skills that you need and you struggle to fill that position. Where if you have a custodian there who has maybe been with you for 10 years, he shows up every day, he's got a smile, he's a hard worker, maybe you can sponsor that person to upskill them, give them the skills that they need to fill that robotics position, and then open up your advertisement for a custodian that's maybe a little bit easier to fill. So, there's lots of ways to evaluate your workforce from within, or like I said, if there's other people from outside your organization that they're just great people and that they're looking to continue their education, you can certainly bring those to us as well. Reconsidering your marketing, a Build Dakota industry partnership, it depends, and I think Jenny's going to talk a little bit about the actual dollar amounts at Western Dakota Tech, but depending on the program that you pick and the school that you work with, the industry partner sponsorship amount changes. But when you think about the kind of money that you put into advertising for that robotics position, and we see a lot of people, job advertisements on the radio or TV. I mean, that kind of stuff costs money. And if you think about how you're advertising your marketing dollars, maybe refunneling those into training as opposed to advertising, could be a potential way to get more people. Another thing that we see a lot is that tuition reimbursement, more so in the medical field. But a lot of people, kind of need that nudge to even get into the field. And so those programs are great, for getting new people or getting people from, that competition that they kind of mentioned in the video. But, if you have a single mom with a couple of kids and, going to school is intimidating and it's scary to not know how you're going to pay for it. And so looking long-term at tuition reimbursement, it's harder to wrap your mind around, where if they know they're going into the program with all of their expenses paid for, it might get more people into the fields that we need them into if they know that they have a clear path to having it paid for at the very beginning, as opposed to them having to fund it and then get money over at the end. So just some things to think about within your own organization and how you can potentially use Build Dakota and our money to meet your needs. And we are always open to thinking outside of the box. If you have ideas for us, come to us, because that's what we're all about. And we're continually evolving as this thing progresses, and it's been an exciting ride for sure. So like I said, each school has their own industry partner program that is separate. I mean, it's using Build Dakota funds, but the school runs it. So I think Rachel also has a handout with all of these individuals on it in case you want to contact them to find out more. What I always say, a good starting place is looking at the programs that you need, that you need employees in, and contacting the school from there, and they can kind of walk you through that process. If you have general questions, I can certainly help you with that or direct you to the correct person as well. So our application window is January 1st through March 31st. The technical colleges all kind of have their own timelines for industry partnerships. It's good to kind of have the paperwork in place as early as you possibly can, so they can start helping you make those matches. Or if you're bringing somebody to them, we need to make sure that they apply within that application window as well. That is kind of my brief overview of what Build Dakota is. And I think Jenny has a few slides to share, and then we can open it up for some questions. Does that sound good, Jenny?
Yep.
All right.
All right, so I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail about how Build Dakota works with Western Dakota Tech. These are Western Dakota Tech's 18 different high need programs that qualify for the Build Dakota Scholarship. And you'll see that the majority of our qualifying programs, they are Associates of Applied Science or 2-year degrees, but we do have a handful of 1-year diploma programs. Then you can do the next. So Deni talked about the industry partner piece and how each of the technical colleges have their own program. Western Dakota Tech's is called the Have Your Pick program, and it's the workforce development program that we designed to work with our industry partners and Build Dakota scholarship recipients. Industry partners can sponsor a Western Dakota Tech student in 2 different ways. If a business has an employee that they would like to upskill, they can sponsor that employee. Again, that employee still does have to go through the application process, and they would be awarded if they met the scholarship qualifications. The second is just by contacting me, filling out an intent to sponsor form. And this is really for a business that wants to bring in highly skilled employees by looking at the entire applicant pool for their area of interest. They can then conduct interviews with those applicants and decide who would make a good fit. And I'm available to help with that interview process, and then again to help facilitate signing of a work contract that the employer and the applicant agree to. And most of these work contracts, you know, they are for that 3-year work commitment that the scholars required to meet as a Build Dakota scholarship recipient. But it really is up to the employer and to that scholar to determine what worked best for them. Then the next one, Deni. So the Have Your Pick, it has 3 different levels of sponsorship. So option 1 is for our 2-year associate degree programs. Option 2 is for our LPN and RN programs. And then option 3 is for our 1-year diploma programs. And these sponsorship dues are divided and invoiced over the life of a student's time at Western Dakota Tech. And then the last one.
Jennie, can I comment something about this?
Yeah.
When we first started Build Dakota, we kind of wanted to do a 50-50 thing, and we decided that was really hard to track. And so one thing I do want to point out is that Build Dakota, you know, when you're paying $8,000 for, you know, an associate degree like this, Build Dakota is still paying more than half of that. You know, most of those programs, the average of these is $20,000 roughly. But like I said, some of these, like your diesel tech programs, are even higher than that. And so, you know, like I said, that seems like a lot of money, but at the same time, when you look at the total expense of educating that student, for you to be able to use Build Dakota funds for the remaining of that person entering into your workforce is a huge advantage for an employer.
Yeah, I think that I've seen the diesel program up to about $24,000. So with the tools and things like that the student needs, $8,000 really isn't a lot compared to what Build Dakota is paying. The last thing, I just wanted to show you my contact information. You can contact me if you're interested in Build Dakota, if you're interested in the Have Your Pick program, have general questions about it. You can shoot me an email or give me a call, and I am happy to work with you. And I think that's it. Did we want to open it up for questions?
I'd also like to add a couple things for you to know. If you have never been on campus here at Western Dakota Tech, please give Jennie or I a call, and we would love to give you a tour. We are doing things as safely as possible due to COVID. We do require everyone to wear masks, and we social distance as required. But we would love to be able to provide you a tour so you can see firsthand the areas, the simulation centers that we have, all of the programs that are Build Dakota, because it's I never really realized when I first came out here, I didn't realize, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I always say this about the diesel program and the automotive program. If you go to their shops and see their shops, they are spotless. I'm thinking you can eat off their floor. It is so spotless. And that's what we teach our students here is one, customer service, how to have the skill sets that you as employers are looking for. And so it's pretty amazing to see. So I invite you to call one of us to schedule an appointment.
And I have one more thing to add to, I think in my work with the technical colleges, I keep hearing about this evolution that we're making here. And, the placement rates at the technical colleges are 98 to 100% in almost all of their programs, and demand for these graduates is high. And it used to be that employers could start meeting with their potential graduates like that semester before they graduated. Because demand in these fields is so high, these graduates are getting spoken for earlier and earlier. And now with this evolution of these students having a partner before they even start school, that's just increasing that demand and that, potential competition, which is unfortunate in a way, but talk about creating tremendous opportunity for these students. And, to have a program like this for employers as well, for you to be able to build your own pipeline is also a great opportunity, knowing that demand here is really high. So I will stop talking and we will open it up for any questions. If anybody has any for us, we'd love to hear from you.
We do have a question. Is there an age limit for the students to qualify for this program?
No, nope. We like our non-traditional students. We've got a lot of people that have gone to school before and got a college education and they can't find a job in their field, or it's not enough. They can't make enough money to sustain their cost of living. And so we do award to people that have been to college in the past, or maybe they started college and it just didn't work out. There's no age limit.
And we have a great working relationship with the high schools in South Dakota. The school counselors are amazing at getting the word out about Build Dakota. We know that there is a huge untapped market for non-traditional age students who are underskilled, kind of working those lower paying jobs, but they're really good workers and they have a lot of potential if we can get them upskilled and into these positions that are in need in South Dakota. And so if you guys know anybody, or if there's any opportunities that we could potentially have to talk to people to spread this message, we give away $5 million. We have a $5 million a year budget to pay for students to go to technical colleges, and we want more people to apply. So if you know of anybody, please don't hesitate to let them know or send them our way. How many businesses in the Black Hills region are part of Build Dakota? Do you guys have your list handy, Danita?
Oh my gosh, our list is growing, but if I recall, I think we had 21 businesses partner with us last year or this current year. Is that correct, Jenny?
Yeah. We ended up with 20 students that had.
Or maybe it was 21 students were sponsored, because
Yeah.
we do have some healthcare agencies that will sponsor more than one student at a time. So we might have had about 16 partners.
All of our industry partners are listed on our website. And we also, as part of being part of this program, we end up with a pool of job applicants. We have people who have to report to us who are looking for jobs, and we do send them to our industry partners first. When they contact me and they say, do you know where I can find a job? I say, go to our website and check out our industry partners. So that's also a great way to get some new talent potentially without actually even sponsoring them. One thing to note about the partners that are on there, that is through last year. So now, as we're opening our applications for cohort 7, like I said, it's continuing to grow and we're gaining partners every single year. So our partners that we're matching right now won't show up on there until next summer.
You know, and I know this is a lot of information to take in 30, 45 minutes. As I said earlier, if you have any questions whatsoever on how this program can affect you and benefit you, or maybe an employee that you have, please call Jennie or myself, and we can answer all those questions and meet with you via Teams or Zoom or in person to talk about the benefits of this program in your business.
Great. Well, all of our information is also out on the website. So there's lots of great stuff out there. If you have individual questions, please feel free to contact Jennie, Danita, myself, or if you have other questions for the technical colleges, their information is out there as well. So we really appreciate you guys joining us today, and we hope to be able to further assist you and work with you to just even have some conversations about what your workforce needs are so that we can hopefully help you moving forward.
Thank you, and everybody stay healthy and safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.